Hey everybody, Jamie from the Marine Doctors YouTube channel, and today I had a customer that actually got me mad. It's rare, I know it. There's times where I'll get frustrated, but I finally got to the point with this guy that I said, look, we'll comp your bill, take your engine, and never come back. I've never done that before. Let's back up. A fella comes in with a 2 horsepower Honda. Well, guess who's not the Honda dealer? Us. We get stuck working on these things, and I think that it's going to be the last one. I think we're done with Honda. People keep phoning with Honda. Too bad. Take it to the guys up the block that work on Honda. I don't care if they say they only work on 20 horsepower and under. Whatever. Take your 50s there, your 60s there, park them in their lot, tell them to do them because they're supposed to be doing them. Anyway, he brings in his 2 horsepower Honda, and this thing is piddling oil everywhere. It's all over the floor in the shop. We can't pull the engine over. And he says, well, it must have a leaking gasket, he says to us. And we're like, well, no, it was probably transported wrong, so that's why it's here. Anyway, we start to work on this thing, and lo and behold, it was transported wrong. There's oil everywhere. It's in the intake and so on and so forth. So we purge the system, we check the oil, we change the oil. I phoned the guy up and said, Kate, we got the oil out of it. We're going to test run it now and see if it works. So, of course, it didn't work because it had oil in the spark plug. And what happens to a 4-stroke engine once it gets oil in the spark plug? Well, the damn thing just doesn't work. So we put a new spark plug into this thing. I get the engine running, runs really nice. Phone him up. Kate, come get your engine. He shows up a month and a half later to get his engine, right? Not a, hey, I'm sorry, I'm late, whatever. We tripped over the thing for a month and a half, and he finally shows up. So I'm in the back and I'm doing some work, and Linda comes to the back and she says, hey, there's a guy up front and he's mad about his bill. Well, who? What? For why? You know, I'm pretty straightforward. I try to help people out. But anyway, I get to the front and the guy looks at me and says, you're charging me $170 to change a spark plug. Well, obviously the guy didn't remember any of the conversation that we had before about, yeah, you transported it wrong. You got oil in the intake. I had to spend all this time cleaning my floor, purging your intake, purging your fuel system, swapping out the spark plug, then test running to make sure it was going to work. Okay? I did not, he says. This is how I transported it. He says, dude, it's been laying on my floor in the back for a month and a half the right way, and guess what? It's not leaking oil. So then he gets mad at me. Oh, no, you did this, blah, blah. You know, like, dude, no, enough. We'll comp your bill. We'll eat the $175 ourselves or whatever it came to. We'll pay it ourselves. Just take your engine and go. So then I go outside and explain to him, because he's still going on about there's no way he transported it wrong. I said, well, is there any chance that when you lifted it out of the water that you put the gear case higher than the engine? Because if the engine's hot, the oil's thin, it's going to run up to the intake really quick if you pick it up or out of the water wrong. So then he goes back and says, well, I'll tell you what, I'll give you $100, he says. And I said, you know what? I don't want your $100. I'll take your money if you respect my work. You obviously don't respect my work. I don't even want your $100. So finally, he left. And now I'm out here venting because I needed to vent over this customer. Because, you know, no, I do a lot of this stuff. Well, I work because I have to work, obviously. But it's almost like a hobby where I enjoy doing what I'm doing. And when guys come in like this, and like, dude, it's $170. I kept you in the link the whole time. I was making phone calls to you, letting you know everything that was going on with your engine. And then you come in and you just accuse me of changing your spark plug, and that's why it was leaking oil? Oh my God. Get your head out of your ass, buddy. Anyway, that's it. I'm done venting, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video.